Hi, welcome to your San Francisco 49ers, the 49ers Live podcast. Brian Professor B. Davis. As the 49ers continue to prepare this week, as on Thursday, they're getting ready to take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, as the Niners will be taking on the Chiefs on Sunday, and we'll going to give you some of the news of what's been going on down at 49ers camp. We'll talk about that. Then we will also uh, we will as we go into week 7, is getting close towards the half to the midway point of the season. We'll uh, we'll take a look at what did they say in the press box. In a segment, we'll have the 49ers segment as we talk to get you ready for the Niners and Chiefs on Sunday, rematch of Super Bowl 54, and we'll get some of the audio clips of what some of the players did say on Thursday's media practice. So this is Brock Purdy talking talking. That's what he was talking about. The as we're gonna get this video stream setting up, and as we get so. We'll apologize for that. We're just we're gonna show you the let you not show you, but the video clip audio sound from Brock Purdy in the press conference on Thursday.
Yeah, he's done a really good job, obviously, being back and just bringing the juice, going really fast in and out of his cuts and creating some really good separation. So, obviously, we drafted him in the first round, and he's got a lot of potential, man. And so, yeah, for him to get in and actually be a part of our offense, not just a young guy that's trying to learn his way, but actually trying to make an impact pretty early on, man. For me, I love it, and it's another great option. And another part of our offense. And so I think obviously, tomorrow we'll go through our red zone plan and stuff. But to answer your question, like when you have a guy like Ricky that can win, man-to-man matchups, and then also open up some other guys too, that's always a good thing. So I'm excited to see what he does.
Last year you had a game against Philadelphia that from the outside was being perceived as this big revenge game because of obviously what happened in the championship game. But within the building, it seemed like you guys were pretty much focused on your business and not getting into all that what happened the year before. Is this a similar situation to that with the Chiefs?
Yeah, I would say so. Only because, a couple years ago we played the Eagles. It was a playoff game, NFC Championship, and then whatever happened, and then boom, you got a whole new situation. You got to focus on the 2023 season, and it's similar deals last year with the Super Bowl. That was the Super Bowl. Obviously, wanted to win it and everything. Didn't go our way, but now it's 2024. Man, it's a regular season game. It's the next opponent for us. We have some new guys on our team, some guys that have left. I've said this before, but this is the 2024 49ers going against the 2024 Chiefs, and so for us, we're focusing on the next team up. Are we trying to go out and get our revenge and get all this stuff? That's not our mindset. And if it was, I think we wouldn't be able to play at our best and play at our standard. Our standard is to be our best no matter who we're playing right now in the present, not looking back in the past, not looking too far ahead in the future, but where we're at right now. So that's our mindset.
On the Chiefs defense, but when you look at Patrick Mahomes, do you look at him as like an all-time great, someone you're trying to reach, or do you look at him as a peer, an equal?
I think, he is who he is. I am who I am. All the quarterbacks in the NFL, I guess, would say the same thing. And so obviously for what he's done and obviously the Super Bowls that he's won and just what he's done in the NFL with his plays and his style of play. It's really fun. It's fun to watch. And but do I compare myself to him or anything like that? No, I don't compare myself to any other quarterbacks in the NFL. I am who I am, and I'm trying to win for the 49ers and play my style of ball. But obviously, I tip my cap to him, and he's done a tremendous job, man. He's definitely on the way up to being one of the greats in the NFL as a quarterback, and that's no secret. And so, whenever you get a chance to go up against a guy like that on the other sideline, it's always fun. So, are you good?
They're more than likely going to try to get after you and pressure you in this one. How are you trying to prepare for that? I know you can't give the details, but the best way to explain the plan of attack, knowing that that's coming this time around, how's that been for that preparation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the Super Bowl last year, they made some adjustments of going to more man coverage and making us win in those kind of matchups. And so, for us, it's like, all right, obviously we got to be ready for that kind of stuff, but it's a whole new year, it's a new season, and they're going to be making their tweaks and adjustments as well. So it's not like we're going to get just that. They're going to come in with their scheme and try to dial some things up against us, and so are we. And so for us, it's going in, it's being dialed in every play with whatever the situation is, and playing our standard and our way of football. If we could just do our job really well, I think everything will fall into place how it needs to, and we're a really good team if we can do that. So that's how I'm looking at it. I know all the guys in the locker room are doing the same thing, and we just got to be ready for all the situations and be on top of our plays and our answers within the game.
Spacing, I guess you mentioned that you felt like a theme of the season as far as you see more man coverage, and you just mentioned the Chiefs doing it more in the Super Bowl last year. You get the sense at all that maybe teams are kind of trying to follow some sort of, I know you didn't get it as much against Minnesota and Seattle, but do you get the sense that the teams are maybe following them more, or is it maybe just more coincidental in the first 6 games?
I mean, I think it depends on the team and their scheme and their personnel, and if they think they can match up against our guys and man coverage and stuff or not. And every team is different, and so it just comes down to the moments, how they're coming in and what their plan of attack is from the jump, and then making adjustments. So like that's every game, and that will be the case moving forward with every team that we play. So. But with that being said, I feel like I've seen some more man coverage and stuff, and honestly, I think we've done a pretty good job still of finding ways to move the ball, even though we do see more man. It's not like man coverage is our kryptonite or anything like that. I still think we got really good ball players that can create separation, and we find ways to win. And so every team's different. I can't promise a team is going to run this because of what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. So every game is different.
A couple of years ago. What do you remember about that? And do you ever, when you're home relaxing, just allow your mind to go back to that moment when you did make your debut?
Yeah, we sort of joke about it actually, just because when I did get thrown into that game, it was my first real regular season action, and I just remember it was pretty fast. The game was fast for me. My feet were moving real fast, and I just remember seeing like Frank Clark and some of the guys. I'm like, man, these guys are still in the game. Like, I'm in at the end of the game, and they're still in, and like just my mind was going pretty fast. So just to see like how I was feeling and everything in that moment from that like moment a couple years ago all the way till now, it's pretty funny. But also like for me, I take pride in like learning and the growth and the process of this whole thing of playing in the NFL week to week and getting better with my fundamentals and being able to actually thrive in those kind of situations and in the moments. That's progress, man. That's getting better. And so look back on it and sort of chuckle about some stuff. But yeah.
Obviously, Florida is pretty distinct in what the Vikings are doing. But how much do you think, if at all, that sort of game where there's a ton thrown at you, it's pretty unpredictable? How much do you think that helps in terms of preparing for someone like Spagnuolo?
Yeah, I think. Those are two different schemes, that's for sure. But I think it goes back to just like the simple mindset of just being on top of your play, every play, like and the details and where's my answer per coverage and what's going on. The Minnesota game that's such a great experience of going through every single play. Something different can happen, and I have to get to this guy or that guy. And so when it comes to the Chiefs and how Spags is going to call the game, like it's the same thing for me at quarterback. Like I have to get to my answers. I have to go through my progressions when I can, and obviously just take what the defense is giving me and not trying to force it and do too much. And so two different schemes, but similar mindset in terms of I have to find my answer within every play and every coverage.
Your last game, did that reveal anything to you or anybody about the importance he has in this offense for what he's done through 6 games?
Yeah, I mean, just knowing that, he's a physical runner, and obviously when the gaps and the C's part, like that's great for any running back. But for Jordan, it's when the gap isn't there, he's still going to push for another 5-6 yards or break a couple tackles. Like that's the mark of a great running back in the NFL, man. That's not easy. And so when he went down, it's like, man, obviously we love that part of him, but we have some young guys behind him that need to step up and do their part. And I think Garendo did that. Patrick did that. They came in, they played physical, but obviously you just love JP's mentality because he does it every play. And every running back is a little different, but that's what he's really good at. And so when he went down, it's like, dang, that is pretty valuable for us in the run game. And but we always have the next guy up, and we're ready to give the next guy a shot, and we always got each other's back. So it was what it was in the Thursday night game, but we're excited that he's healed up and got some rest and ready for this one.
Keith Spagnuolo has always been extremely complimentary of your play, and this week he said that you have no weaknesses. Would you agree with his assessment of your movement?
I would disagree. I think I definitely got stuff to work on and get better at. I appreciate the comments, but there's always something, and like in the NFL, there's always something to get better at, and as a quarterback too, man, you can never be perfect. There's always something. So I appreciate it, but yeah, I got to get better too.
The numbers show that this Chiefs defense sometimes gives up points early and then gets better and better as the game goes on. Does the film show that? Is there anything on the film that they do differently as the game progresses that helps them?
Man, I think they're just they have a lot of experience playing within the scheme. A lot of the guys that have been there, they understand. How their coordinators call plays and where they need to be. It's a very sound and disciplined defense, and I think for them, maybe I don't know for sure. I'm not in their meetings or anything, but it might be the bend but don't break kind of defense. And when the game matters and it's on the line, they're the side of the ball that needs to get it done, and their defense has shown that in the last couple of games in this season. So definitely do see it. They haven't given up many points. And like I said, they all have a lot of experience together, and they tie together really well just across the board. So one of the best defenses that we'll see this year for sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Brock Purdy talking about how they're going to against the Chiefs. Of course, this is a whole new season, no whole new year, and talking about always room for improvement, and you know, so that's how the Niners getting ready for the Chiefs. 125 is a kickoff, and that's going to be part of the Fox double header coming this Sunday. So Niners will be taking on the Chiefs, and we continue on 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49 podcast. Check us out at youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49. And so we continue on our podcast. We're going to take a look back now as we continue the honor and celebrate the 30-year anniversary of the 1994 San Francisco 49ers as they're taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Week 7. And this is, of course, this celebrating, observing the 30-year anniversary of the 49ers last Super Bowl win when that year they won their 5th Super Bowl with a convincing win over the San Diego Chargers in Super Bowl 29. And our flashback moment, we're going to go back to Week 7 from the NFL regular season. And we're going to go back to Week 7 from October 16th, 1984. The 49ers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Now, both teams coming in this game are tied for first place at 4-2. And let's give you the start of the backdrop. The 49ers, coming off an impressive come from behind victory against the Detroit Lions in week 6. Of course, they just 2 weeks prior to that, they had come off that ugly, embarrassing loss to the Philadelphia Eagles 40-8 at home. But then week 6, they were able to turn it around. They at one point was down 14-0, but the Niners end up scoring 27 unanswered points, and a come from behind 27-21 win. Many considered was a must win and pivotal win of the season. Niners with that win go to 4-2. They're taking on the Atlanta Falcons in week number 7. Both teams are tied for first place in the NFC West. For the young people who don't know, the Falcons used to reside. The Atlanta Falcons for all those years resided in the NFC West along with the New Orleans Saints, and then the Rams was in that division. So this game took place at the Georgia Dome, October 16th, 1984. This was a 10 a.m. kickoff time on the West Coast, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Atlanta. And they played at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, which no longer exists. Of course, that was part of the site of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta, and it also would be the site for Super Bowl 34, some little more than 5 years later in January of 2000. So the game attendance was 67,298. The referee was Gordon McCarter, and the game was televised on Fox, which was Fox Sports' first year with the contractual rights with the NFC TV rights to do the NFC. The announcers of this game were Dick Stockton and former 49er, former 4-time Super Bowl champ Matt Millen, who won 2 with the Super Bowls with the Raiders in the early 80s. He won another with the 49ers and won another one with the Washington Redskins in 1991. Ron Pitts was the sideline reporter. So let's take a look back at this game. First quarter, Ricky Wards on a 10-yard touchdown pass from Steve Young that put the Niners up 7-0. Then the Niners defense got nasty as Tim McDonald picked up a 95-yard fumble return, took it all the way back for a touchdown. That put the Niners up 14-0. And then in the second quarter, Jerry Rice connected with Young with a yard touchdown that made it 21-0. Then the veteran Norm Johnson hit a 34-yard field goal that made it 21-3 San Francisco. And then the play of the game, Deion Sanders returning to the Georgia Dome. Of course, before and in that game, him and his former teammate Andre Rison got into it. They're throwing some punches after the play was dead. Both were penalized, and neither did not get kicked out of the game. But Deion Sanders intercepted a Jeff George pass and took it all the way from the 7-yard line, a 93-yard interception return. And we're going to let you hear the audio clip, the sound called by the legend Dick Stockton from Fox Sports with the call.
3rd and 10, the 10th play of the drive here. George has 5, and the pass is intercepted. They're not catching ball down the sideline. Deion Sanders is dancing. He's looking backwards from about the 40-yard line. Is he going to do a number on the crowd here? And that's the second
course, that was Dick Stockton with the call for Fox Sports along with Matt Millen. The Niners were going to have a commanding 28-3 lead at the intermission. The Niners led this game from start to finish. Then the third quarter, Brent Jones caught a 7-yard pass from Steve Young and made it 35-3. And then Ricky Warren had a 4-yard touchdown pass from Steve Young that made the final, or in the that in the third quarter, 42-3, and that was it. And we're gonna look at the final numbers of this game, trying to and looking at the final stats of this game from week number 7. This was a big win for the 49ers. It was showdown for first place. The Niners led from start to finish, and it was not even close. So take a look at this box score. Final number: Steve Young threw for 143 yards. He threw 4 touchdowns. Jeff George threw for 177 yards. He threw 2 interceptions. Of course, he threw the interception to Deion Sanders, a 93-yard interception return. So, trying to find out what was the turnover. The Niners end up getting, I believe, a bunch of takeaways in that game, including Deion's interception, returned for a touchdown. In fact, the Niners had 2 takeaways, forced two of those takeaways from. They end up getting returned from a touchdown. Uh, Tim McDonald had the 49-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and Deion had the 93 yards interception. I'm just looking at the final stats of this game. 49ers end up having 281 total yards to the Falcons 254. And the Niners, looking at and then Ricky Wars had 10 carries for 53 yards. And then Jerry Rice, 6 catches for 65 yards. In the contest, Bert Emanuel had 9 catches for 91 yards for the Falcons. So this was a big win for the 49ers. And they went on to win a big one by a score of 42-3. And they just dominated the Falcons from start to finish. It was a cakewalk, not even close. So that's a big win for San Francisco. So with the win, the 49ers now move into sole possession of first place in the NFC West. They improved to 5-2. The Falcons now drop to 4-3. And all intents and purposes, the 49ers, this is where the Niners are now going to start to see. Now they're going to try to put some distance, already started to put some distance of kids in the rest of that division. They have a 1-game lead over the Falcons in the NFC West. And take a look at some of the other divisional games. The Rams were winners over the Falcons, over the New York Giants at down at Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, 17-10. Jerome Bettis led the way for the Rams, 30 carries for 88 yards. Leader for the Giants, Rodney Hampton, 27 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown in the contest. Chris Miller threw for 2 touchdowns as well. So the Rams improved their record of 3-4. The Giants fall to 3-3. And then the San Diego the Saints fall to the Chargers at the Superdome 36-22, with the Saints losing. So now the Niners have a commanding 3-game lead over the Saints. They have a 2-game lead over the Rams and a 1-game lead over the Falcons. And this is where the Niners got control of first place for good and never looked back. Only 2 weeks removed from that ugly performance against the Eagles, the Niners bounce back. They come back and beat the Detroit Lions. Then they come out and decisively dominate the Atlanta Falcons. They had forced 6 Falcon turnovers in that contest. Two of the takeaways the Niners had returned for touchdowns, including Deion Sanders' 93-yard touchdown interception return and uh, Tim McDonald's 49-yard touchdown return. So let's take a look around the rest of the NFL scoreboard from Sunday, October 16th, 1994, from Week 7. It was the Arizona Cardinals over the Redskins in the nation's capital, 19-16. As the veteran Steve Berline, or I should say, Rob Moore for the Cardinals, 28 carries for 118 yards and a touchdown. He led the way. Larry Sinners, 6 catches for 66 yards. The former ex-Ram veteran Henry Ellard, 3 catches for 50 yards. And the Cardinals intercepted Heath Schuler, 5. He threw for 5 interceptions. So the Redskins fall to 1-6. Cardinals improved to 2-4. And then in other action in Week 7 of 1994, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Bengals, 14-10, eking one out in the Steel City. Dave, as as Bam Morris led the way for the Steelers, 21 carries for 82 yards, and then Neil O'Donnell threw for 190 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Steelers improved to 4-2, while the Bengals fall to 0-6. The Indianapolis Colts with a big upset, knocking off the 4-time defending AFC champion Buffalo Bills at Rich Stadium, 27-17. Jim Harbaugh threw for 206 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Jim Kelly threw for 286 yards and a touchdown in a losing effort, while uh, Sean Dawkins, the former California Golden Bear star, 6 catches for 105 yards. Andre Reed, 6 catches for 88 yards. Colts improved to 3-4. Buffalo Bills fall to 4-3. Then also the part of the game of the day in the AFC, it was the Miami Dolphins over the Raiders, 20-17 at Joe Robbie Stadium, which would be the site of the Super Bowl 29 for your San Francisco 49ers. The Dolphins beat the Raiders 20-17. Jeff Hostetler was ineffective, 8 out of 23 for 95 yards through 1 touchdown. Dan Marino threw for 186 yards. He threw a touchdown to 2 touchdowns. And then Bernie Parmalee led the Miami Dolphins with 30 carries for 150 yards. Tim Brown, the veteran, future Hall of Famer at the time, 6 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. Keith Byers, the former ex-Philadelphia Eagle, 5 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. So, and then Harvey Williams led the Raiders, 16 carries for 72 yards. So with the loss, the Raiders fall. They dropped their record to 2-4, while the Miami Dolphins improved to 5-2. So, the and then in the other games, Jets over the New England Patriots, 24-17, as Drew Bledsoe threw for 242 yards. He threw an interception and a touchdown in a losing effort, while former Penn State star Blair Thomas, 14 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. And then the big guy, Ben Coates, 7 catches for 92 yards. So with the win, the Jets improved to 4-3, while the Patriots fall to 3-4. And then it was the Rams over the Giants, 17-10. Jerome Best, 30 carries for 88 yards. And then Jerome Best caught 3 balls for 62 yards. Then the game of the day, the marquee game of the day in week number 7, it was the Cowboys over the Eagles 24-13. This was a showdown for first place. Randall Cunningham threw for 198 yards. He threw a touchdown, but he threw 4 interceptions. Troy Aikman threw for 2 touchdown passes, but he threw 1 interception. And then Emmett Smith, 26 carries, 106 yards, and a touchdown. And ex-Cowboy Herschel Walker, 5 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. Alvin Harper, 4 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. So with the win, Cowboys now have sole possession first place. They're now 5-1, while the Philadelphia Eagles dropped their record to 4-2. And then on Sunday, the San Diego Chargers beating the New Orleans Saints down at the Superdome 36-22 as Natron Means, 26 carries, 120 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And that's a big win for the Chargers. Their record with the win goes to 6-0. The Saints fall to 2-5. And then there was a Thursday night game as well back in week 7. Cleveland Browns were one of the biggest story surprises in 1984 with an 11-8 yawner over the Houston Oilers down at the Astrodome. The Browns improved their record to 5-1, while the Steelers dropped their record to 1-5. And then on Monday night, exactly 30 years ago today, on Monday Night Football, the wrap up week number 7, it was the Chiefs over the Denver Broncos 31-28 at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Classic shootout with 2 future Hall of Famers in this contest. And it was former 49er and 3-time former 49er Joe and 4-time Super Bowl champion Joe Montana against another future Hall of Famer, John Elway. And that probably was one of my favorite non-49er Monday night games of all time. And that was one of the biggest so I think so it was one of the classic games. That was one of the classic games for 2 future Hall of Fame legends. And so this was So that was a big win. The Chiefs picking up their first win, and so we so this was late in the fourth quarter. Chiefs taking on the Broncos at Mile High Stadium, and this was this was one of the classic drives by why Joe Montana with clutch in the, and we're gonna give you the audio clip.
He throws to the end zone. It is over. Touchdown by Davis. Willie Davis. Unbelievable. Good by Willie Davis. Lord, you can take me now. I've seen it all.
That was the great Al Michaels calling that game from October 17th, 30 years ago on Monday Night Football. Al Michaels, along with the late Frank Gifford and Dan Dierdorf, calling that game on ABC's Monday Night Football from 1994 as the Chiefs beat the Denver Broncos. They end up winning that game by a score of 28 to 24. That was probably my favorite, was probably the best Monday night game I ever watched. I think of my two favorite Monday night games from 1994. Well, outside of was the Jerry Rice Week One opener when he passed up Jim Brown, become the all-time touchdown scorer, and this game right here. Probably my favorite non-49er Monday night game was have to be the Chiefs and Broncos from 1994, 30 years ago. So, just a reminder, we'll have another edition of 49ers Live tomorrow. We'll get you ready for the Niners and Chiefs on Sunday out at the Mecca. And the kickoff time again will be 125. It will be a Fox doubleheader. 125 kickoff. That will be the time. And the announcers will be the number one team, Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady with the action. Catch all the action on Fox. So for the latest news on 49ers news and so much more, go to 49ers.com. And also don't forget, check us out on youtube.com/ at Niners Radio 49. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Our, our mission, our statement goal is trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And just also a reminder before we call it a wrap for tonight, yours truly was named was the winner, one of the winners of the Booster Awards for Niners Radio 49. We end up yours truly end up getting a certificate, and in addition, we got ourselves a new grant, a $1,000 grant where we're going to be doing a lot of stuff for Niners Radio 49 along with Satellite Digital Media as our flagship network, as long as all over our sister network platforms as well, including the flagship. So it's a win-win. Like to thank Peter Haas, like to thank all the people for that committee, and it took a lot of hard sweat, blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of late wee hours in the morning just to, and all of the support. And for all you faithful, the Niner fans all around for getting this award, I'm extremely humbled. And but now it's that happened on Wednesday night. Now it's now trying to clear my head and just try to refocus, and because like the old saying, the goal was to get into the be a finalist for the Booster Awards. The next thing was to obtain. The next goals was to obtain is trying to win something, And that's what we did. We accomplished those one like the old saying, once you obtain a goal, now time to reassess. And we came in there, and I'm just was very thankful to get that because we really need that because we want to spend and make some quality decisions to try to upgrade on a lot of stuff, not just for Niners Radio 49, but all of our associate affiliates as well. So it was very important. It really means a lot to get a major award and getting some grant money coming in to open up this entrepreneur business. So so I am just so thankful for getting this opportunity, Peter Hawes and everybody who had their contributions there. So we thank you all for being there, and but hey, work is not done. There's still more work to get done, trying to get the word on the street about Niners Radio 49, and we still got a long ways to go. So never want to be content, sit on your laurels, and be content what you got. We're gonna keep pushing hard to be the best podcast network in the country. Well, that's going to do it for now for 49ers Live Tonight podcast. Brian Professor B. Davis signing off. Thank you for watching. And we had our segment with the 49ers recapping from the 1994 regular season when the 49ers the taking on the Atlanta Falcons for showdown for first place in the NFC West. Let me just a reminder next week next week for our next 49ers flashback, we'll take a look back of we'll take a look back of the 1984 49ers as we commemorate and observe and commemorate the 40-year anniversary of the 1984 Super Bowl winning season. Of course, that team went 15-1 in the regular season, 18-1 overall, including the postseason in their Super Bowl win over the Miami Dolphins. We'll take a look back in our recap, our flashback from that season. We're going to break down every game from that regular season, including the playoffs in the Super Bowl, how they got there. We'll take a look back of Week 8 as the season gets to the midway point in 1984. We'll take a look back at week number 8 with the 49ers taking on the Houston Oilers with a young Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers down at the Astrodome in Houston. We'll take a look back at that game, break down what happened, and then, of course, a recap of what happened in week 8 of the NFL scoreboard as well. And then, so just a reminder, check us out, youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. Please don't forget, click the subscribe button. You hit that subscribe button, our goal is trying to get 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to be just working hard, just staying after it. And yours truly won't rest until all the pieces are going to be in place. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. We'll have another edition of 49ers Live tomorrow as we get you ready for 49ers and the Chiefs rematch of Super Bowl 58. And for always on the latest news, go to 49ers.com. That's it for now. Brian Professor B. Davis and signing off and so long. Thank you for watching 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49 podcast. 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49 is an association with the Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan, every fan has a voice. The network home of champions. And so long, everybody. Take care.